I have two I'm going to show you guys today. The first one is an iodine clock, and the second one is we're going to change soap from being hard into something kind of soft and fluffy. The first one, the iodine clock, it's a little finicky sometimes, so I'm hoping that I can get it to work. Sometimes it seems like it takes a few minutes, because what happens is the vitamin C that we end up putting in it is fighting with the iodine, and it won't change. You won't see the change take place until all the vitamin C is used up. So anyways, to do the iodine clock, and again, all the instructions, Miss Hicks and Miss Daria can send them out, and I'll send out a link to the video too, because Amy's recording it for me again. But this one, you need distilled water, or you can just use tap water, about 6 ounces. You need a couple of cups. I'm just going to use these 2 glass jars. You need 1,000 milligram vitamin C tablets. On hand, I only had 500 milligrams, so I'm just going to use 2 of them to make 1,000. And then you need iodine tincture. It's got to be the kind that's in the brown bottle. It can't be the decolorized. I actually tried this yesterday twice with the decolorized, and I couldn't get it to work. And actually, there ended up being another chemical reaction that was going on, because it was fizzing and stuff, and that's not supposed to happen. And then you need 3% peroxide, like you use for cuts, and then you need liquid laundry starch, like the kind that you can use for like making piñatas and stuff. All right, so first thing we got to do is make the vitamin C stock. So we're going to pour 2 ounces of water into this little cup. This thing is hard to see. This measuring cup I'm using is kind of old, and so the numbers are getting faded. All right, so that's about 2 ounces there. Then I don't have my mortar and pestle on me. A mortar and pestle, for those of you that don't know, is the little thing that scientists use. It's like a ceramic bowl, and it has a little smasher, and you grind it up into powder. I have a couple of them, but they're somewhere in my shed, and I didn't feel like digging. So I'm just going to put 2 tablets into the baggie and just use a butter knife to kind of smash it up real quick. And then, so it's powder form. And then I'm going to dump it into the vitamin C cup. And then I'm going to stir that around and let that kind of dissolve while I get the other stuff ready. Okay. So while that's sitting, I labeled my jars, or cups if you're going to use cups, solution A and solution B. So solution A, you're going to put iodine in it. It calls for 1 teaspoon. I'm going to double it so that I can try to make more so you can see it better in the jar. So 1 teaspoon is equal to 5 milliliters. So I'm going to do 10 milliliters of iodine. So that's right there. Pour that in there. So iodine right there is brown. Then we're going to put 2 ounces of water in there. Yeah, that was a pretty good guess right there, 2 ounces. Now I'm going to come back to solution A here in a minute. Solution B, I'm going to put 2 ounces of water. A little bit more. That should be good. Then I'm going to add Autumn, can you clean that real quick? My daughter's cleaning the little cup real quick. That's what I was going to use the extra water for. Thanks for laughing at me, Jaden.
What?
Okay, so this calls for 3 teaspoons of hydrogen peroxide. 1 teaspoon is equal to 5 milliliters. And I'm going to double it, so 6 times 5 will be 30. So there's 15, whoop, a little more than 15. I'll do the next one a little less. And there's another 15. So I'm just using like medicine measuring cups for this because they work pretty good. And then the liquid laundry starch, it only calls for 1/2 teaspoon. And since I'm doubling it, I'm gonna put 1 teaspoon, which is 5 milliliters. Okay, so we have this solution that's this color. We have this solution that's kind of like a clearish but a little bit cloudy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a teaspoon of the vitamin C to it, to solution A. If I can turn this around here. Okay. So this solution here, you can see what color it is, but when I add the vitamin C to it, let's give it a little swirl here. Okay, and then let me add 1 more teaspoon to it for a total of 2, because that's doubling it. You can see that it's kind of turning colors into yellow. And if I added a little more vitamin C stock to it, it would change totally clear. So let me add just a little bit more to it. And that's because the vitamin C is reacting with the iodine and changing it. There we go, now it's totally clear. Okay, so now we're gonna mix these two together. So we're gonna pour solution A into solution B and back and forth. We're going to keep doing this, and then hopefully you're going to see something dramatic happen here. Could take a couple minutes. There we go. Okay, so it turned purple. So what happened is this iodine is in the form of an ion, meaning when you mix it with the water, it's floating around. When we do this, it reacts with the vitamin C, and the vitamin C changes the iodine into elemental form. So the way that you would find it on the periodic table or out in nature, attached to other things out in nature. When you mix iodine and starch, it turns this purplish blue color. So that's why it turned the purple colors, because all of the vitamin C got used up, and then the iodine in the presence of starch turned purple. So now what I'm going to do, let's pour this back into here. Swish that around, and do it again. Once I didn't have enough vitamin C to change it all the way back to clear, but if you used enough, it would change all the way back to clear again, completely clear. And once you keep mixing it like this, it should turn back to purple once all of the vitamin C gets used up again. So, but since I dumped so much vitamin C in it, it could be a little bit before it does it. Most people, when they do this reaction, they do it in a chemistry unit, and they have heaters that have a stir function, and so you can put the glass on top of the heater, and then you put down a little magnetic stir bar in it, and they can turn on stir, and it will start stirring it. And then the solution will actually flash like a strobe light. It'll go back and forth, clear, blue, or clear, purple. So I'll try to include a link for that too, so you guys can see it going back and forth, because it's pretty cool. So we'll come back to this in a second, and we'll go to the soap one, and after I'm done with the soap one, we will see if that has changed back to purple. Okay, so for the next one, the soap, I'm going to use Ivory soap. Let me cut this open. Okay, easier said than done. All right, that's it. Butter knives stink. I'm gonna get out my pointy knife. There we go. All right. Okay, so we've got a bar of Ivory soap here, and you can see it's, you know, like a normal bar of soap. It's kind of hard, but a little, I don't know, oily feeling or whatever. But Ivory soap has special properties compared to other types of bar soap. So we're gonna throw this in the microwave in this bowl for about 2 minutes. And I'm gonna try to turn the camera and show you what's happening inside the microwave. But it should start changing, and after 2 minutes, it should be kind of, it's still soap, but it's changed physically into something else. And then we'll have to let it cool for a couple minutes, and then I can pick it up and show you. All right, so let's turn this around. Whoops. Okay, so microwave. Hopefully I do not destroy my microwave or the glass bowl, or my wife will kill me. All right, so microwave, 2 minutes, start. Let's see what happens here. I've never done this myself. I've only seen videos on this, so far, I don't know how good you guys can see it in there, but so far, oh, it's starting. So far, it looks like a normal bar of soap, but it almost looks like worms are starting to come out of it. So, okay, so that's, can you guys see that or not? There's probably, okay, you can kind of see how it's puffing up. You see all those puff balls that are happening? It's like a whole bunch of worms coming out of the center of it, or the sides. Okay, so it's got about a minute left. I hope it don't fill up the whole microwave, because that wouldn't be good. Okay, so it's almost like we're making popcorn. Okay, so 45 seconds left. So far, so good. Nothing wrong with the microwave, nothing wrong with the bowl. And it's not filling up my microwave yet, so. The other one, Mr. Jake changed from clear, or from like a red, brownish, reddish, to a clear, and then to a purple. And I can show it again to you here in just a moment. Okay, so 10 seconds left. It's getting pretty big, so I'm getting a little scared here. I think it's gonna be okay though. 3, 2, 1. All right. That is now what the Ivory soap looks like.
Can I use it?
It looks like a marshmallow.
Hey, it smells good though. It looks like it kind of looks like a marshmallow, like my daughter just said. And it's, now that it's cooling a little bit, you can see it sinking back down. So I'm gonna let this sit for about a minute or two, and that was pretty cool. I've never done that before. I'm gonna let that sit for a minute or two to cool. And I'm gonna go back over here and I'm gonna change that back to purple real quick. So ideally, I don't think it changed back to purple by itself because I'm wondering if there's not enough iodine in it. So maybe the vitamin C is overpowering the iodine now. So let's do this. Let's put a little more iodine in there, swirl it around. Mix it some more. Let's add a little more iodine. Let's see, that was 2 ounces. Let's see, 2 ounces of 1 teaspoon to 1, so it needs to be 1 to 1. And that was 2 ounces. So basically I'd have to put like 2 ounces. Let's do that again. That probably is gonna end up being enough to flip it because it's already kind of got a purple tint to it. There it went. So it just flipped back to purple again because the iodine used. So it's pretty cool. It's got this weird texture to it and it's like really fluffy now. Kind of like styrofoam or something. It's very interesting. Yeah, girls, you guys can touch it. So that's something that's really simple you could do at home just to see you know, what it does in person, you know, with your own eyes. It's all you need is 1 bar of soap, a glass bowl, and the microwave. So anyways, you can still use this as soap. So you could technically put this, you know, like in the bathroom or something in a bowl and people could actually still use it like soap. It still has the soap properties. The other thing you can do to it, which now it's sticking all over to my fingers, you can, I also read that you can take this whole thing and put it in a bath with you and it kind of creates like a nice bath. And then I also read that there is a way to turn this, by mixing a couple more things with it, turn it into clay to where you can actually sculpt with it and mold with it and stuff. And you can actually make clay sculptures and things. So it's weird. I really suggest you guys try to do it for yourself just so you can see it, because the full effect, like I said, I've seen it on video, but I've never seen it in person. So it's actually pretty interesting how it changes. So what happens is this still is pretty much soap, but it's very gooey. The very center didn't change. But what happens is when they make the Ivory soap, the chemicals and stuff they use in it and the process they make it with creates little tiny air bubbles inside of it. And so what happens when you put it in the microwave is it turns it kind of gooey. Like, I don't know if you can see how this part's kind of gooey, whereas this is kind of cooked and crispy. Well, the goo gets very soft, obviously, and it allows the air bubbles inside to expand. And so the hotter it gets, the bigger those air bubbles get, which makes the thing poof up more and more. And then when you turn it off, when the microwave is done, it shrinks back down because all that heat is going away. So that's pretty much it. Anybody have any questions or anything?